Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Heel Team 6 Wrestling is proud to present the Bodega Wrestling Podcast. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Bodega Wrestling Podcast. This is your host, the quintessential Puerto Rican muffin, Jorge. And yes, we've been out for 2 months, but it's been a hot 2 months of enjoying the summer and the sun. And today, a big bomb was dropped as Mark Cuban, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks, sold a majority stake in his cable network AXS TV or Access TV and HD Net Movies to Anthem Sports Entertainment, with Steve Harvey on board as the financial and creative partner, which means Impact Wrestling will take over operational control of the channels, with Cuban and AEG will continue to participate as an equity partner with AEG Global Partnerships. AEG's advertisement and sponsorship sales unit will continue to support the channels in conjunction with Anthem's sales team. On top of that, Steve Harvey, that's Steve Harvey, the comedian who owns the Steve Harvey Global, will have a seat on the board of directors of Anthem. Now, after all the mumbo jumbo and everything that just happened, we could break it down like this. 3 years ago, Anthem came in back at the end of 2016 when Dixie Carter backstabbed Billy Corgan after Billy Corgan has saved Bound for Glory in 2016 and gave over $1 million to keep the company open as a faith that once everything will go over, he was going to take over Impact Wrestling, or at the time TNA. As we know, Dixie Carter did not do that. Anthem came in from Toronto, down in Canada, and saved the company, where they went and bought 95% of equity from Dixie Carter, paid off Billy Corgan's debts of over $1.5 million, paid off over $225,000 that TNA owed in back taxes down in Nashville, upon other debts that Dixie Carter had picked up during the last couple of years of TNA existence. Once that happened, Anthem came in, moved Dixie Carter to the side. They brought in Jeff Jarrett, Dutch Mantel in 2017. Everything was fine to the summer, where it was going to be known as Global Force Wrestling. They actually went ahead and did the change, and then not even 2 months later, Jeff Jarrett was gone because of a little drinking problems or personal issues that was going on. So then Anthem took it back. Then since then, Jeff Jarrett has been suing Anthem to get the 6 hours of GFW work that they had done. In 2017 and 2018, Anthem went from Destination America to Pop TV, where it was there for 3 years, getting no money because Pop TV was not paying anything for the Anthem services or Impact services. So they were there just basically, you can have the channel, do your show, but we're not paying you anything for this. They went into taped shows for 3 months. Then Anthem moved the company to Toronto, where now we get to see a monthly shows taped from different locations. 2018 came. 2019, Pop TV dropped Impact, or Impact decided to go, went to the Pursuit channel and Twitch. As we can see, Pursuit channel has no idea what they're doing with Impact Wrestling. Twitch, in the other hand, we've been able to watch Impact Wrestling on there, but with all the little hits here and there and the best of one match, which should be maybe 30 seconds, turns into a 10-minute match, and it's just not been working down for us. Some of the real fans that don't like a lot of those things. We just want to see, the matches and see those shows what it is today. Then the rumors came in that Anthem was looking into going into Access TV, which people were saying, what is a rumor, blah, blah, blah. Then they were looking into buying Access TV, which nobody believed that was going to happen. And then today, I walked in around 5 p.m. getting a message on Facebook Messenger from the homie Michael Larkin, aka Bob Custis, who sent me the information where I nearly, and actually I dropped my phone, and thank God the screen didn't break. And I did a lap around my house in joy when I read the news that Anthem had purchased a high stake on Access TV. Now going forward, this opens the avenues, the streets, the one-ways, the boulevards, the lanes of different ideas that's just ran into my head. Now with Anthem taking over, let's not forget, and before people start going outside running butt naked, jumping into the lake, this is a process that's going to take at least 3 to 5 months, because now, even though this has been set and has been put out, the FCC has to approve this type of partnership. So the partnership between Access TV with Mark Cuban, Steve Harvey's company, and now with Anthem taking over, the FCC has to approve it. There has to be a pyramid where it shows who's going to be the president, go all the way down to the executive, and they have to show the money transfer, how much it's going to cost, how much dividend majority of stake is going to be sold. So this is going to take 3 to 5 months before this is set in stone, which means Impact will not be able to jump into Access TV till all this deal is done, which means right now we're in September. I'm thinking in October for Bound for Glory, we'll get that big announcement, video of when this deal will be closed. So I'm thinking at the beginning of next year, January 2020, is when we'll see Impact Wrestling on Access TV. And also, I think it will not be called Access TV, so because this is a big deal for Anthem. So since this is going to be another new beginning, I'm pretty sure that they'll take that name and change it from Access TV to something else. They might keep it the same name, but that's under Mark Cuban. If they want to go under a new chapter, they'll change the name. So before anybody jumps, it'll take 3 to 5 months if it gets expedited to get this done by the beginning of the year for 2020. So with that being said, Anthem now owns Access TV. Also, they own and they will own Wild Moments of Wrestling library from season 1, season 2 now, and then whatever happens in the future, they will own that library. And also, they will own New Japan Wrestling's library of everything that has been done on Access TV going forward, which means in the future you might see a partnership again with New Japan Wrestling and Impact Wrestling, because we've seen slowly New Japan Wrestling moving away from Ring of Honor. If you've noticed lately, they have like no mention of New Japan Wrestling in Ring of Honor. Even they had Juice Robinson do a new stable called Lifeblood in Ring of Honor, and he didn't like what he saw in the locker room, or how things were being formed and direction of the group, that he went back to New Japan, and you haven't seen him since. So pretty surely and slowly but surely, New Japan is pulling away from from Ring of Honor. which means this is a perfect opportunity for Impact Wrestling to jump back in bed with New Japan Wrestling. Now you have Tommy Dreamer, who's been working with Impact Wrestling behind the scenes for the last 2 years. House of Hardcore can now get a proper channel on the Access TV coming up in 2020. Destiny Wrestling from Canada in Mississauga there in Toronto, who's been partnership with Impact Wrestling, could get a channel there or a nice show there, since now they're going to hit TV on the Fight Network. They could get some nice plug there on the Access Network. Same thing with Al Snow's OVW Wrestling. Same exact thing. Could get a nice hour there on the channel coming up in the future. So there's different possibilities of what could happen going forward with Access TV under the Anthem umbrella, already having WOW Wrestling and New Japan Wrestling already on the program. Also, AAA could come in and they could do the hourly show going forward next year. So you could have this nice block of different days of the week with different wrestling, or you could have now Impact show being on a Wednesday. How Little Ryback on Twitter mentioned that he would love to see the show on Tuesdays around 8 or 9 p.m. Now Impact or Anthem could put the show anytime during the week from 8-9 p.m. Get away from Friday, and you can have a nice block of wrestling on a Saturday of AAA, Destiny, WOW, New Japan Wrestling. Nice 4-hour block on a Saturday or on a Sunday or even on a Friday. You can have that going forward. So things are looking up for wrestling all in general, but this one is the big thing for Impact Wrestling, since they were not able to get a spot in any channel. They said, screw this, we'll go ahead and buy our own channel. All the other person that has anything like this is WWE, that has a WWE network, and if you see it, you have to pay for that to be on a streaming service, and that's pretty much gonna die pretty soon, because now NXT is being moved from there to the USA channel. So why are fans gonna pay $9.99 for that when you have other shows now and different channels? That will pretty soon will start dying off. You have Ring of Honor and Sinclair Broadcasting, who is finishing up probably for next year all their sports channels to probably start getting Ring of Honor on those channels at the same time. Now you have AEW starting in October 2nd, their own show, 2-hour show. So pretty much every night starting in a couple of months, even next year, is going to be full of wrestling. So this is a humongous win for Impact Wrestling, Impact wrestlers, Impact partnerships that they have, Impact everything going forward starting at the end of the year or 2020. This is a humongous game changer going forward, because this just opens, like I mentioned, every street that you could think of every wrestling company out there now wants to come into the States, and jump in bed with one of these big companies now. Now Impact, who's been getting called where they're an indie show because they do this stuff here and stuff there, now they have their own channel, which means now we'll get that second show coming up. Explosion will now be most likely be there, or even that when they did that one episode from California or LA where they do the championship wrestling from Hollywood, where they wanted to do something similar to having a small place like that of maybe 200-300 fans in attendance as a second show, can now get greenlit going forward, because that's the same thing that we know Billy Corgan is doing with the NWA going forward, is having that old WCW, NWA, WCW days from the mid 80s where they had that Superstation TBS little studio of 100 and 150 fans, and those people will scream off the top of the lungs for the action. So now that's something that these companies are looking to do on a weekly basis of a small show in a small place, and they go on the road on tour for the big pay-per-views and stuff like that going forward. So I mean, this is humongous for us, the fans of Impact Wrestling. We finally got that humongous win. And like I went on Twitter and I said, I do not want to hear anyone mouthing Impact Wrestling ever again, or Anthem, or Ed Norham, because I'm tired of people always talking the same nonsense. Oh, they don't have the money to do this, or people are leaving because of that. If they don't have the money to this or do that, they just bought their own freaking channel. Not even Vince McMahon could find a channel to buy. So that should tell you right there, the pockets are deep in some places, and when you get yourself focused, you will get stuff done. And right now, stuff is getting done by Mr. Asper, which is the CEO of Anthem out there, and stuff is getting made. And they just says, screw this. We got next. This is how we're gonna move from now on. If a channel doesn't want us, we'll go buy our own channel, and we could put our own stuff now here. And they're gonna keep the same stuff on Access TV, which is the music, all the different shows that they have, and more sports, which they already have the MMA stuff. And now on top of the wrestling, it's gonna be even more of an amazing adventure going forward. But like I said, baby steps. They took the baby steps, and now going forward, end of the year or beginning of 2020, Impact will have their own channel to have their own show, the flagship of Impact Wrestling, and then hopefully have that second show, maybe a 1 hour show, like they do with Explosion, and they could have their own identity, where you can have stars that are mid-card or lower cards being used here. And who knows, they might have their own 1 hour Knockouts women's show, where it's all females. I mean, you never know. The skies is the limit. But I mean, I would like to hear from you guys, from the fans at Impact Wrestling. I love Impact Wrestling and love everything that they've been doing. Hit me up at Bodega Wrestling on Twitter. Let me know and let us know how you feel about this news coming up forward. And going forward, we are going to be here now that summer is over. Most likely, it's going to be myself and Michael Larkin, aka Bob Custis, are going to be the two main guys going forward with the show. Robert Does Wrestling is back in Puerto Rico, and he's actually doing stuff with the armed forces down there, so he's going to be more focused on that. And Robert, who's from Heel Team 6, is actually took a step back to focus more on the Heel Team 6 clothing line. So if you guys go on Twitter, Heel Team 6, you could cop some merchandise for yourself, for your grandma, your mom, your dad, your sister, your cousin. They even have little stuff for doggies, little doggy shirts, maybe even a little cat shirt, that says meow, Heel Team 6 meow. So you never know, but cop that out. Hit him up on Heel Team 6 on Twitter, and buy that merchandise, man. Even for your ex-girlfriends, and maybe the significant other could get one too. But we'll be here going forward every week. We're going to give you all the news that are from around the world. And tonight we started with this. And like I said, hit me up on Bodega Wrestling on Twitter. Tell me what you think, and let's talk about this. What you guys think they should do going forward. You guys think that this is the beginning of something bigger? Because I know Mr. Asper mentioned that this is just the beginning, and they're looking for more content to buy and look into more stuff to libraries going forward. So this is just a start. They got this now with the movies, the music. Now they own the library for WoW, Women's of Wrestling. They own the new Japanese library for all the stuff that's been done the shows in the US for the last couple of years. So now they own that too. So hopefully this is just a baby step towards a bigger step of New Japan Wrestling rejoining Impact Wrestling going forward. And I think those lucky stars that Dixie Carter had nothing to do with this, because I still don't like her. Never did. She just almost destroyed. Well, she actually did destroy TNA, and thank goodness for Anthem that came in at the last minute, 11th hour and 59 minutes and 59 seconds to save Impact Wrestling, because right now I wouldn't know what I'll be doing without Impact Wrestling and a lot of those guys. And for all the guys who left and females who left and talent who keeps leaving, people who keep leaving, don't come back begging for your jobs, because we don't want you here unless you're LAX, and you're welcome to come back, because they left the right way. And Killer Cross, if you want to leave, let him leave too. I don't care. But anyways, guys, hit me up on Bodega Wrestling on Twitter. Let me know what you think. And like I said, we'll be back every week hitting you with all the news. Thank you for listening. We have over 1,000 subscribers on our Twitter page. We're still growing our YouTube page, so please keep liking, subscribing, giving us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever. I like whatever you want to give us. We'll take it. We could talk about it, hopefully get you back to a thumbs up. But we're back, so tell me what you think. I will go to sleep tonight thinking of all the beautiful dreams of all the good shows I'm going to see on Access TV going forward, and maybe it'll be called Anthem TV. Who knows what happens, but this is a good start for Impact Wrestling, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Good night.